right now. Hello.
Hi,
Thank
my
you.
name is Tanya Reynolds. I'm the program director for KAPOW, and I'm waiting to introduce you to this amazing young lady that we have. We're calling this edition of KAPOW in Action, where we showcase really special and outstanding people in the community who are making great strides, doing things that are really positive. And we want to bring this to all of our students and even our viewers, all of our adults and partners and teachers and principals and administrators to just really demonstrate that KAPOW is in action even during this time of this new normal that we're in. And I'm really, really excited to introduce you to Teresa Morgan, who is with us.
Hello.
Are we ready?
I think so.
Yes? Yes? Are we ready, Teresa?
I think so.
Okay. So Terese Morgan is a children's author. She is a playwright, a composer, and an actor. I've had the pleasure of I've known her probably 10 years now. And over the years, I have grown increasingly fond of her talents because I just learned of her talents and the abundance of talent that she has in the last couple years. Her recent writing credits include Cabin Boy, the musical, adapted from her children's novel, Cabin Boy. She's currently also directing Quarantine, the musical, a global online project involving musical theater parodies and original songs around the theme of COVID-19. She earned her bachelor's degree in music education from Florida Atlantic University and trained in acting and improv comedy performance with Got You Laughing. So welcome, Terese. We're so happy to have you. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya.
Good. So tell me, I wanted to bring you on this show to have you share with us your journey, and tell us how you got involved in writing. What made you discover that you actually like to write? How old were you when you first discovered this?
Well, when I first discovered I loved to write stories, I was about 10 years old, 11 years old, and um, it was something that I realized I was pretty good at. I always liked writing assignments in school. And so I just started writing stories for myself just for fun. And it was a habit, a hobby that I just kept up for myself. And
That's fantastic.
nobody at the time really read my stories. It was just for fun.
So it started out just you just doodling and scribbling some thoughts and writing short stories, and then you discovered that was a hobby of yours. So something that was a hobby turned into a passion and now has turned into a dream and a reality. So tell us about Cabin Boy. Tell us about this book. How old were you when you first penned this book? And tell us what it's about.
Okay, well, here, let me show you. This is Cabin Boy, the children's novel. It's a chapter book, and it's got only a couple pictures. So so this is for about ages 9 through 12. Um,
Okay.
and and the story is about a 13-year-old girl who winds up getting kidnapped by pirates and has to find her way home again. And so I started writing the original story when I was around 11 or 12. And and it was just something that I kept doing. Um, it turned out to be a longer story than I intended. It took me 3 years to finish. So I was writing it little by little all through middle school. And then I finished it the summer before high school and then put it away for a while. And I didn't come back to it until after college. And then when I came back to it and I reread it, I realized that I still liked the story and I wanted to share it with people and revise it as an adult now with new eyes and better understanding of English grammar.
Wonderful. And so we have a lot of our viewers, our KAPOW program, as you know, we target second grade all the way through middle and high school. So we have 11-year-old kids who are probably in 5th grade or in 6th grade, who are just on the cusp of trying to discover, you know, what their gifts and their talents are, and what they are good at, and what they even want to be when they grow up. And you had mentioned to me previously that this book sort of mirrors your own life's journey. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It does somewhat. Well, part of the reason why I kept with the story when I was in middle school, all through all 3 years of middle school, writing it, was because it became a sort of an escape for me. Because at the time my parents were going through a bad divorce,
Mhm.
and so that's something I always tell kids, is that you can use your creativity to help you cope with whatever's happening in your life that you might not understand or like. So the story Cabin Boy is this girl who's trapped in a situation that she can't get out of, and she's scared, and she doesn't really know what's going on, and eventually she finds her voice, and she finds a way to get out of it. So that that helped me back then, you know.
I love that. I love that you took something, a situation that you didn't know back then when you were 11 or 12. You were just writing and getting your thoughts down. And you took something that was at the time when you were in middle school going through this with your family, and you're seeing your parents go through this divorce. It's quite painful for kids. But you were able to, like, looking back now, take that pain and that difficult time in your life and turn it into something positive. So much so that you actually fulfilled your dream of getting this book published. So uh, a lot of kids have asked, when I talk with them, you know, and when I talk with students, they always want to know, how long is the book? Pages, how many?
Yeah, I get asked that too.
Right. So how many pages is the book? How many chapters? And also tell us the process. Well, actually, the process that you had to get this book published, because so this is not just something that's sitting in, you know, in on your bookshelf. You have this book published, and it's for sale. You're selling this book on your
Mhm.
website. So tell us the process that you went through to get this book published. You mentioned that you had a lot of no's before you got any yeses. Talk about that.
Definitely. Um, well, to answer your first question, the book is 156 pages long. I don't know if you can see that on
That's
camera.
easy. That's easy reading.
Um, but the process of publishing it was kind of roundabout for me, because after revising it, over and over again for about a year, I sent it to about 100 literary agencies around the country. And any students or teachers watching this, if you don't know, in the publishing world today, authors need to go through literary agents who represent their books to publishing houses who then publish their books. So I wrote letters asking literary agents if they would want to represent me, and sending samples of my book. And turns out all of them said no. Some of them gave me some great feedback, but all of them said no. So I was considering just putting the book away and starting a new story and moving on. But luckily, my mom convinced me to self-publish it instead, and still try to get it out into the world that way. So I self-published it and started visiting schools around Broward and Dade County to sell the books and to talk to kids about literacy and the importance of learning how to read and write and to speak, most of all. And so that's how Cabin Boy came out into the world, and that's how I made connections with other creators in the community.
I love that. I love that even though you had all these no's, 100 no's from these different agencies and publishing companies, you still believed, and you had that resilience within yourself to feel and believe that this book was worth something, and you were not just going to leave it and park it and not touch it. You actually believed enough in yourself and in the value of your work to try to get this out into the world. And I credit your mom and your family for encouraging you to even self-publish, because you did self-publish and you're having some good sales within the school community. So that's amazing. Um, and when I chat with you, just hearing your heart and your level of commitment and devotion to your craft, um, you're so natural. You're so humble, which is beautiful, but you're so naturally gifted, because when I read your bio, playwright, composer, actor, and then I looked at your website, and then you're also the music director for, you have a lot of talents. So you are truly like very gifted in many different ways. And I know you're not going to toot your horn, so I'm tooting it for you to let everyone know that this person started at a very young age, had a passion for something and made it grow. And then she developed other gifts and talents along the way. So she's kind of like the full package. So tell us now, not only did you go on to get this book written and published, but you also had a turning point in your career with the Roxy Theater. And this book turned into a musical production in Miami-Dade County. Tell us about that. That must have been a huge turning point, and a huge point of success for you.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing I've ever done by far. And I just want to say, anyone who seems to have talent and accomplishments never ever does it alone. For all of the kids who are watching, every single successful person that you see on TV, in your community, around you, your parents, your family, every one of those people has had a lot of help and a lot of people pushing them along on the way to their success. So, and the same is with me. I had several family members supporting me, trying to get the book published. And then I met the team at the Roxy Theater Group in Miami, and they wanted to turn my book into a play, and it was incredible. It was an incredible opportunity, and I couldn't have adapted it into this musical production without them. So here's the playbill from Cabin Boy the Musical. You guys can see that. The show premiered this past August at the Wertheim Performing Arts Center in on the FIU South Campus, and we had been developing it, Roxy Theater Group and I, for the past 3 years. So the process of bringing a show into reality from a book, it takes a long time. It takes years, and it takes a lot of revises and changes, and seeing what parts of the story work on a stage and what parts don't and need to be adapted. So it was amazing when I first met them. I had never even thought of Cabin Boy as a musical before, but as soon as they said, we'd like to turn your book into a play, I come from a music background in my education, so I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I love musicals. Can it somehow involve music? Can it be a musical? And so they were hesitant at first because they didn't have the budget to hire a composer, a lyricist, a music director, an arranger for the orchestral score. And so I just said, look, I have a music background. I studied music in college. I have a degree in music education. Let me do it all for you, please. And
Right.
so they said yes. And
That's fantastic.
for years, I was developing this show, a lot like how I was writing the original novel, just literally every day, little by little bits. Sometimes not every day. Sometimes it was every week or weekend, because I do have a job.
Right. So this is part-time. This is on the side. This is not full-time that you're doing this at
Yeah.
all. Correct.
And for the kids watching, it's totally okay to have a day job and work on your dreams at the same time.
Right.
Almost everybody doesn't have the opportunity to do their dreams and projects full time at first. So
Mhm.
it's so important that you can understand that dreams take a long time to achieve. And
Right.
when you're an adult, you have to support yourself. You have to have money to buy food, to pay rent, to run your car. And it's totally okay to work at something different than your dream for however long it takes for your dream to become enough to
I love that. And just so you guys know that's listening to this and watching, when I get emails from Terese, they're like at 3:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and I'm
yes,
thinking,
it's
when does
true.
she
Yeah.
sleep? Because she seems to work around the clock, or maybe she sleeps in the day or she works in the day and then she does
Luckily
her
my job
passion
is
in the
flexible.
night. Yeah, so she does work really hard. So we're gonna go very quickly. I just wanted to ask you, Therese, some kids always want to know, what did you have to study in school? What were your hard skills that you learned that you needed to learn in school? And what are some of the soft skills? And I want to probably go through the next series of questions pretty quickly because I want these kids to see your a piece of an excerpt from your book and also, if possible, one of those songs from your website. So, what hard skills did you learn in school?
Okay, hard skills, definitely English, um, grammar, reading, writing, um, English speaking. A lot of people don't think that speaking is very important for someone who writes for a living, but you have to be able to explain your story and convince people with your words that it's important enough to buy. And that's an entrepreneurial skill too. Um, other skills,
What are
social
some soft skills?
soft skills, definitely teamwork. Oh my gosh, teamwork is huge with writing and with theater. Theater is nothing but teamwork. You have to work very closely with people on projects that are very emotional for
Right.
everybody.
Mhm.
Um, and uh, I'm trying to think of the KAPOW lessons that you told me about. Um, Overcoming bias and stereotype. That turned out to be more important than I thought it would be, especially when delivering a story. You have to think about um, the diversity of audience members that you have and how people are going to receive certain parts of the story and whether it will make them feel empowered or not.
Awesome, beautiful, well said. So tell me, since you have this book that has now become a reality, and it sort of mirrors a little bit of your life, have you been able to find healing from this whole entire process and become stronger and more confident as a woman and as an entrepreneur and as an artist? Have you been able to find healing and closure from this whole process?
Oh, definitely. Like more in different ways than I never thought I would. With the story was about a young girl who was, scared and trapped in a situation and didn't know how to express herself. And so, now that I'm an adult, it's easier to do that. But also, um, having this story worked on and delivered through other people who interpret what happens in the story in new ways gives me perspective about how I feel about certain things and how I felt writing that story. So it's definitely been life changing.
That's fantastic. That's beautiful. And what we have today is someone that is strong, that is a go-getter, that is adaptable, and that's very solid in what she believes and is committed. So that's my takeaway from just seeing your life. When I met you 10 years ago and how you matured in many ways, professionally and personally, I now see that this book has been pivotal to your growth and your development. And I'm so happy and proud of you for even achieving healing in that process. So one last question before we ask you to read something from your book. What word of encouragement and advice would you give kids who have a dream or don't even know what their dreams are, or don't know what they want to be when they grow up? A lot of kids are in, you know, this mode of they don't know what they want when they grow up, and even adults even still don't know what they want either, and they're still trying to find their dreams. So what encouragement do you have for our viewers today? What would you say to them?
Okay. So for the kids or adults who have a dream that they're working toward already, um, that is amazing. It's awesome. Definitely stick with it. Definitely ask for help. Every time you come across a problem, ask for help or research it. A lot of times when I came across something that was keeping me from writing or moving forward or getting the project, you know, done, I would just Google it and I would find information online. Um, so definitely get help, stay connected with the people who support you. That is the most important thing. Um, and just keep going, have fun with it. Um, and for the kids who don't know what they want to do yet, that's totally fine. Relax. You're young.
Right, right.
No
Yeah, I
worries.
love that. I
Um,
love that. Yeah.
and it's sort of the same for the kids who don't know what they want yet. Stay connected with the people who are supporting you, and talk to the people who are supporting you about what they think you'd be good at, because the people who love you know you best, and so they might have perspective for you of something you might want to look into or explore. So stay connected. That's my
I
advice.
love it. I love it. And you know what I also know is which is huge too, is finding those mentors in your life. Some kids,
Definitely.
but they have mentors, but the adults that are surrounding them can be a mentor, come alongside them, and help them to find their gifts and their talents and their strengths.
For
Uh,
sure.
help
Yeah.
them to,
I had mentors along the way,
yes,
professionally,
right,
not just my family, teachers that helped me find the right direction, the next step.
absolutely, yes. So I want to find out if we can turn this direction and then have you read something, an excerpt from your book, a short excerpt from your book. And I know you have some props that you can probably share with the viewers. Whatever you have, maybe we'd take a minute for you to read it, and then we take another minute or two to show them the website.
Sure. Um, okay. In the interest of time, um,
Yes, you can,
I'll
if you want
I'll
to
just
just read
read
it directly from your
the back of
book.
the book, the little
Yes.
blurb on the back of the book.
Uh-huh.
Um, that tells the story basically. Okay,
Wait,
so
hold on. Can you put on your hat?
I
I want to see your hat.
was just going to do that.
Okay, great. Good, good, good.
Yeah, gotta get into the pirate spirit. Arr.
Absolutely. There we go.
Okay, so when 13-year-old Emily Gibson dons a boyish disguise to help the British Navy find her father, she never intends to become one more missing person. Deceived by the black-hearted Captain Marcus O'Connell, she is shanghaied as a cabin boy on a voyage bound for treasure and revenge. Emily must escape the ship before the pirates see through her disguise. But when a midnight duel for a treasure map reveals a clue to her father's disappearance, staying aboard might be her only way to learn the truth. So
That's
that's what the
beautiful.
story is about. So let's see if I can share my screen with everybody and give them a tour of cabinboythemusical.com.
Okay. Perfect.
Share screen. Okay. Oh wow, Tanya, I don't know if you're seeing it too, but I'm seeing all these comments on the chat on YouTube. Oh wow. Hi
Awesome.
everybody.
Oh, wow. I can't see it. You
Awesome. Oh wow.
take a screenshot, Teresa, and then send it to me. But I'm not able to see your screen just yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. Still
No,
loading.
not yet. It's still a dark screen.
Okay. So I'll do the audio first. I'm gonna
Yes, please.
play
The second
official
song,
demos.
the second one on the website, that second song, I loved it.
Second one? Okay. Okay. So part of the process of this show was recording music and recording the actors singing so we could have demos that we could share with people. Demos are digital pieces of music that artists use to deliver their songs. And so I'm going to play you one of Cabin Boy's official demos, and this is what the actors performed in. This is the scene where Emily first gets kidnapped by the pirates.
Perfect. I see your screen now.
There we go. Can you hear that, Tanya?
Yes.
Raise the anchor, loose the sails, and look to the horizon. It's hard to leave the land, but we will conquer different reasons. Hold in the land tide, turn the wheel and hold the line. Pray for easy weather, for it my chance of fortune, and we've got to sail together.
Tom, when will Captain Rose be back? He said he would find Captain James for me on the HMS Sparrow. Sparrow? That ship left an hour ago. What?
Turn the wheel and hold the line. Pray for easy weather, for it my chance of fortune, and on the sail together. Well, Pip, I'm afraid this Captain James fellow of yours won't be hearing anything you've got to say. He'll be working for me now as our new cabin boy. Cast off, Mr. Gray!
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
That
Maybe
was really fun to play.
yeah, and the costumes. Just tell us about the costumes and the set design. Did you have anything to do with that? And then maybe you want to share one more song, and then we'll leave it there.
Sure. I didn't have anything to do with the costume or set design. That was all the Roxy Theater Group. So I think people can see my screen now. Tanya, can you see the screen?
I can see it. Yes.
Okay, so you see the pictures that are.
Yes. Yes, I see it. Yes.
So so all of these set pieces and the props, the fake pistols and the hats and the costumes, they were all provided by the Roxy Theater Group. They're rented costumes. And so I didn't have to do any of that. We had a costume department, and we had a choreographer that taught people how to dance in the show.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we had a set designer who was awesome. We used a combination of real wooden set pieces and projected images on a big screen way in the back. If you look at the pictures, the stuff you see in the background, like in the blue, the
yes,
images of the ships and the jungle and all of that,
right.
That's a projector screen. So just like kids use in school the projector screen to project on the whiteboard or on the blackboard,
Right.
it's the same thing, except what we used was bigger.
Right. Okay, so I think, did you want to show anything else? We have about a minute before or 2 minutes. Is there anything else you wanted to share with the audience?
I'll show them the page on the website where they can find the novel
Sure.
here. In fact, real quick, I'll take you through the whole website. So,
Okay, in about 60 seconds.
so this is cabinboythemusical.com. This is where you can find all the info on the book, the show, and me as an author and the creative team. So we had a website building company build this website for us. And so this is the homepage, and the graphics you see right there of Emily holding up the flag. My sister actually drew that.
Oh,
So
that's
she's
beautiful.
the artist. So this whole project was a real community effort and
That's
family
fantastic.
effort.
Wonderful.
So, okay, so now I'm going to go to the page for the creative team. So
Right.
it's a group of us that basically brought the show to life. Okay, it's not that big. It's this big. So we had a lighting and sound designer, a choreographer, a director, and an artistic director, and a set designer. So each of us had to work as a team to bring the show to life, because there's many different art forms that go into a show.
Right.
And it's going to load a second. You guys can see. I
And
don't
while
know
we're
how
waiting
many
for
of
the, yes, there we go. There we see Terese is the playwright, composer, and orchestrator. And that's her team that she rallied around and made this thing happen for her. So
this was our director right here, Anna Andrew. Charles Suthers was our artistic director. Jillian Leva was choreographer, and Lucy Zotero was lighting and sound director.
fantastic.
And
All
then,
right.
And on this page, you can find the novel. If you're interested in reading the book, you can find a way to order it online here. And when you order it, you'll get a signed copy.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to just say thank you, Terese. I think this was perfect.
Thank you.
I'm so inspired, and I hope our viewers, young and old, you know, from 0 to 99, are inspired by this. I'm going to ask all of our viewers, all of our teachers, and even students, and everyone watching to share this link. So this is going to be on our Facebook page for Learning for Success. We're gonna share the link. It will be staying on this YouTube channel and also on our Facebook page. Make sure you like the Facebook page. And if you want any information on the book, the information will also be on that link. If you want to speak more with Terese, you can contact me. My name is Tanya Reynolds again, and my information will also be posted on the link. Terese, do you have anything to say before we say goodbye?
Just thank you. Thank you, Tanya, for hosting this interview. And thank you to everybody who's watching right now.
Yeah.
I see all your comments in the YouTube page.
I see the comments and I know all those names. I see hi, Katie Prelas and Rosetta Thomas, Kim Cunningham.
Hi, Toussaint Elementary and Willoughby Elementary.
Yes, we see you and we love you. We miss you. And we're going to bring more of these interviews for you and for your kids. So stay tuned. We're going to be gathering more interviews of more cool and interesting people who are partners of KAPOW. So your kids can still stay in touch and still stay connected. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Hi, Southside. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Here.